Good afternoon. Wow, that was a session. Uh, After Sir, full of high octane, high adrenaline gushing, a lot of activities, it's always difficult to step in after that, right? But there's one good thing. The good thing is when you have a session after lunch, at least you are sure after this session that your eyes are wide awake, okay? Especially after all the exercises that were done. He has set the bar very high. We will try our level best to follow on his footsteps. So I was invited to actually moderate a session, and we have some learned speakers out here. But I was also told that you take a keynote, okay? And digital transformation is something that I teach at IIMS, and it's my favorite topic, okay? So I readily agreed. And one of the reasons I readily agreed is it gives me a chance to interact with the students, okay? Whenever there's an opportunity to interact with the students, I lap it up, okay? You know why? Anyone can take a guess? What's so great about interacting with students? Anyone? Take a shot. A lot of young students. Any guess? You tend to learn a lot, okay? With the young minds, the best and the brightest, you tend to learn a lot. Have you heard of this phrase called reverse mentoring? Okay, so if you have not, okay, some of my learned colleagues know, please do Google after this show and find out what is reverse mentoring, okay, and why there's a need for it. A lot of organizations in the world are doing it. Okay, so let's get going on this. So today's theme could not be more relevant and apt, okay, because whatever role you are currently in, or for the students, the world you're going to step into tomorrow is not the world your parents had entered, and definitely not the world your seniors had worked before, okay? It's absolutely a different world that you're going to step into, okay? I'm going to cover today's session in a few different dimensions. I'll talk about some transformational shifts that are happening, okay? And then I'll talk about data analytics and AI, which I am a business head in entity data. I'll give you some case studies, okay, how this has affected, and obviously some industry and functional apps. Digital transformation has a very profound impact on the world, disrupting the entire industries. But the good part is it has also enabled a lot of companies to achieve exponential growth. Some have fallen by the wayside, but some has capitalized, because if you embrace it right and you get your game right, you can really have exponential growth. And there are two keywords in today's world. One is disruption, the other is transformation. There's a lot of hype and attention around it, okay? And there are good reasons why, as we cover along. You may call it disruptive technologies, you may call it digital technologies, and I have just captured a few of them. So it could be cybersecurity, could be blockchain, could be AI, could be IoT, RPA, AR, VR. There are numerous more. But what has come out very, very clearly is these technologies have been the real catalyst in a digital transformation in the enterprises worldwide. And I'm not going to read out those descriptions. You can just glance it through it. But there's no doubt that some incumbents, and when I'm talking about incumbents, I'm talking about leaders, okay, in their respective domains, enterprises. They have struggled quite a lot because as new and nimble players have really come up, emerged with innovative business models, okay? And if you are really a startup who has a very high IP, very, very nimble, you can really shake the leaders with your innovative IPs, and this could be a different business model. So anyone coming from a large enterprise are always very wary of the fact the competition doesn't come from established companies, it comes from startups. Okay, let me get back to some quiz, especially for the students out here. Who has heard of this acronym? Tell me any one of them. Students from India, come on. I'm actually on your advisory board also. So I'm connected with Chetan sir. So anyone who speaks up and gives the correct answer will get some brownie points. What does VUCA stands for? Have you heard this phrase, acronym, ever? Oh, please go ahead. Volatile, uncertain. And the last one is? It's not critical, it's complex. And A for ambiguity or ambiguous. Okay, but good try. Anyone for Barney? This is shaping the world order. This is shaping the business order where we are. Okay, so the shift from VUCA to Barney. Barney stands for brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensible. It's a framework that describes a transition from a challenging environment to a chaotic, unpredictable one. And all of us are going through it. While VUCA describes the state of the world, Barney describes how we perceive and react to it. To thrive in a Barney environment, leaders are shifting from resilience. What is resilience? Resilience means bouncing back, to anti-fragility. There's a famous book, if you have not read it, please read it. I urge every one of you. Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb. It's a great book, okay? Anti-fragile is where the state organizations and enterprises are, okay? How you basically get more strengthened from this type of ecosystems, which will break you down, and how you can get more strength of it. In short, Barney is not an acronym. It's a call to adapt to a reality that is fundamentally more fractured, more chaotic. So digital transformation is innovating with digital technologies and implementing them across the different business functions. But there's another side of the story, and that side of the story is, as digital has posed quite a threat to the old guard. When I'm talking about old guard, I'm talking about established companies, and continues to do so in today's world. It also offers them an endless opportunities for companies to really blossom and flourish in the traditional industries. So there is also a positive side of it if you can really play your card well. And the most important thing about successful digital transformation is that this is not about strategy building. Okay, this is about execution across the length and breadth, across the nook and corner of your company, across all the functions. A lot of companies, in order to do digital transformation, have tried their hands in creating some small independent units, or doing a series of digital experiments, or even for that matter, leveraging technologies to cut cost and improve efficiency. While you can do and get a short-term reward, these are not the ones which will give you a long-term success. It's a very limited success. Why are certain factors prompting digital transformation? One of them, obviously, the survival instinct. Okay, if you do not do it, you will be fossilized. And this fossilization is not only for companies and enterprises, dear friends, it's also for individuals. Sir spoke about learning every day, continuous learner. If you don't learn every day, individuals will also be fossilized, okay? Please keep this in mind. What the employees want, changing customer expectations, and security considerations. With the changing laws of compliance, regulatory, old legal systems, cyber threats, you really need to go for digital transformation. Companies who are embarking on this digital transformation also face a wide variety of challenges, and I'm sure my learned speakers in the panel will talk about it. It could be in terms of resistance to change, a mindset shift, lack of collaboration because you need to work across cross-functional teams, skill gaps, lack of ownership, and there is also a risk aversion that comes in with every individual. So these are some of the challenges we face when we try to execute digital transformation in major organizations. Now the most important thing, the transformational shift. Okay, which are the three things happening? The first one, technology has become the strategy. You must have heard about technology supporting business. You must have heard about technology enabling business. But today, technology is the business. Banks are becoming fintechs. Retailers are becoming data and AI companies. Manufacturing plants are becoming digital twins. Hospitals are becoming AI-enabled healthcare systems. Every single function, hiring, operations, marketing, supply chain, everything is now digital first. So technology is this strategy. is in the center of everything. Second, globalization. It is boundaryless. There's no boundaries. Your competitor is not the person sitting next to you. Your competitor is a coder in Vietnam, is a product designer in US, okay, is a product manager in Brazil, or could be a data analyst in Indonesia. Work is getting distributed, talent is global, opportunities are global, and competition is global. We are working in a global arena. And the third most important transformational shift, the shelf life of technical skills is only 2 to 3 years max. The half-life of business skills is even shorter. The question is no longer what do you know. The question should be more relevant, and the real question is how fast can you learn what you don't know? That is the question you need to be answering. This is the survival skill in a dynamic ecosystem. Let me touch data analytics and AI. So this is a very vast subject. I have picked up only one facet of it, which is talking about voice and text, okay? So if you look at an enterprise, you've got two types of data, structured and unstructured data, okay? But 90% of business data is unstructured. So if you talk about in an enterprise and a conversation with customers, you can look at voice, emails, customer calls, documents, meeting records, reviews. These are all between voice and text, okay? So we'll do the analysis of voice and text. And how the analytics engine flows in. The analytics engine flows in, we basically collect phase, where you are talking about APIs which connect to your phone and the systems. Then you process it, the speech to text and the language detection. Then comes the analyze part, which is the NLP models that are extracted. Fourth is the visualize phase, where your interactive dashboards comes in. And fifth is where you trigger the different workflows, alerts, and decision making. So this is how the analytics steps in terms of your voice and text. The good part is there are a lot of tools available, okay? I've just given you a snapshot of a few tools. A lot of them are available, which is a no-code tool. So you don't need to be a coding expert to work on this. So it's across voice, text, or some are all in one. Do we really get benefit out of this? Yes, this is not on design table. This is really having an impact. So what is the real impact? It could be a typical organization, a cost savings of more than 1.2 million. Retention rate has gone up by 34%. Resolution rate is 67% higher. Okay, and there is an appreciable return on the ROI. So there is impact. Okay, what we are talking about makes sense. This is not in thin air or on the design board. Let's look at case studies. I picked up two of them. One is a banking, the real-time churn prevention, okay, where if you look at the retention rate, it's 89%, which is very, very high compared to the IT services industry where I come from, okay, which has a retention rate of around 75%. The annual savings of more than 4 million, okay. Your detection time has also appreciably come down. So we are getting results in the banking from voice and text. We are getting results in the healthcare. Okay, the patient satisfaction score has gone up after the introduction of AI analytics into the voice and text. Okay, there has been formal complaints have come down drastically. Okay, and there is a litigation savings of close to 2 million. So all this is happening as we speak. There was a McKinsey report a few months back in 2025. I just picked it up. Let's see what does it state and what is the adoption in the data and AI in industries worldwide. So if you look at it, enterprise adoption at scale is moving up, okay? 80% are running the AI pilots. 12% there's been a scale deployments, and 50% near-term investments have happened. Okay, there are provisions being made to ensure that there's a budget set aside for this. So this is a global report. This is happening as we speak. So this is not in thin air. What are the two primary forces that is driving this? So one is a productivity gain, okay, where the agent deployment, etc., are really adding a lot of muscle power to this. Sector-wise, the second one is enterprise insourcing, especially in the GCC's world. They are getting a lot of enterprise work done out of workflows. We have a few of our colleagues from the GCC space. They will be able to correlate to this. Two value pools coming out of data and AI. One is the agentic AI workflow services, where the enterprise regular incomprehensible stuff is coming out in support of the different AI workflows. And the second is the business function transformation across the different business that is also happening because of agentic AI. So the other part of it, which is very, very important to you note, is I'm doing a course in AI from IIT Bombay. It's a 7 months course. I'm already around 6 months into it. The different no-codes and the AI workflows that we work across and the different tools, they have all got a shelf life of few months. So maybe after 6 months or 1 year, we have to work with different tools. But that's the nature of business that you have to understand. Four value propositions in the agentic era. Okay, one is the agentic AI enabler, which is really coming up in such a big way that is really threatening the existence of humans. There have been a lot of talks happening where they're talking about in the white collar entry levels, this is going to have a severe, significant impact. Second, in the packaged AI implementations. Third one is the custom agent development, and the fourth is the end-to-end workflow disruptor. So these are the value propositions agentic AI is having an impact on different industries. So they are very well entrenched in the different functions that we work across. And if you look at the different industries, this is actually permeated across everywhere, be it financial, healthcare, retail, telecom, travel, manufacturing, legal. Nobody is spared from the advent of AI, okay? So while this is good, the other thing is you need to be cognizant of the fact that there's going to be impact and you need to be ready for it. And also the same thing happens for within organizations. If you're running an organization, if you're a part of any organizations, AI is playing a part across different organizations. And not only playing a part, the impact of AI is very, very significant. If I'm looking at an enterprise knowledge assistant, I'm getting a 70% faster turnaround. If I'm looking at hiring through AI, there has been a 50% faster time to scale. So across each and every length of the organization and functional areas, AI is making an impact and is a positive, beneficial work. All organizations are working in order to make this happen. Okay, I'm at the closing end of my slide. This is something, another quest for my dear friends, the students from Indira. A very, very important, influential person in the AI space had said this. Any guesses? Came out a couple of days back in the media. I liked it and I just picked it up. And that gentleman is right now in India, not an Indian. How many of you use AI? Okay. How many of you use ChatGPT? I'm giving you clues. Who is this? Who is the chief of OpenAI? That's his code. Okay? And you should take proud in the fact that India is at the center of it. Okay? We are going to define the AI's future. My last slide before I conclude and resonates with Sir spoke about. Okay? Whatever I said gets summed up in this particular quote of this Alvin Toffler, American futurist and author. This is something so true. Friends, remember this, mug it up, get it embedded into your DNA. You should be following this day in and day out. The important thing is not learning. Important thing is to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Anyone who cannot do this in world of today and tomorrow will be fossilized. Any learning will not have a shelf life for more than a few months or maybe half a year or a year. You have to be doing this process day in and day out. That's the mantra of being successful in whatever domain and field you are. So that was in a nutshell. I've given my quote here. As I said, I interact with the students a lot. I know many of you are in a passive mode, but in case you need to reach out, etc., feel free to connect with me. It will be a pleasure to connect with you and offer whatever guidance I can. Thank you very much.